Thomas Mackenzie knew better than to take the cobblestone shortcut through Old Town Edinburgh at this hour, but the pub had been warm and inviting, and he'd stayed longer than intended. Now, as midnight approached, an unseasonal mist crept between the ancient buildings, their weathered stones holding centuries of dark secrets. He wandered down the deserted street, the rhythmic click of his shoes against the cobblestones, the only sound breaking the oppressive silence. The clouds drifted across the moon like phantom ships, casting shifting shadows that seemed to dance along the walls of the narrow close. The stories his grandmother had told him as a child came flooding back. Tales of the Lady of Greyfriars, a spectral woman who had haunted these streets since the Great Plague. According to legend, she had lost her entire family to the disease, and in her grief-stricken madness had taken her own life. Now she wandered the streets during the witching hour, seeking company in her eternal solitude. A cold breeze whistled through the close, carrying with it the faint scent of lavender and decay. Thomas pulled his collar up around his neck, quickening his pace. The temperature dropped suddenly, his breath visible in the frigid air. Behind him, he heard the soft rustle of fabric against stone. When he turned, she was there. At first glance, she appeared beautiful. Pale skin luminescent in the moonlight, her white dress flowing as if caught in an invisible breeze. But as she drew closer, Thomas saw the truth behind her facade. Her eyes were hollow pits, her smile too wide, revealing blackened teeth. The lavender scent grew stronger, now mixed with the unmistakable stench of rot. "Keep me company, dear one," she whispered, her voice like breaking glass. "The nights are so very long." Thomas tried to run, but his feet wouldn't move. The lady glided closer, her form flickering like a candle flame. Her icy fingers brushed his cheek, and he felt the warmth being drawn from his body. The world began to fade around him as she pressed her lips to his, drawing out his breath, his life, his very soul. As consciousness slipped away, Thomas understood why his grandmother had warned him never to walk these streets alone after dark. The Lady of Greyfriars had found her newest companion, and the ancient cobblestones of Edinburgh would keep yet another dark secret. In the morning, they found only his coat, a light dusting of frost covering the fabric despite the summer warmth. And in the distance, some said they heard the sound of a woman's laughter, echoing through the empty streets of Old Town.